All right, and good evening, everyone, and welcome back once again to Tea with Doug G. First Tea with Doug G of 2021. If you don't know me, my name is Doug Gooden, and y'all, this week to start off 2021. There were too many 20s in that, whatever. I have not one, but three incredible guests. They're a production company called Where's the Remote Productions, and they are here today. Justin Hall, Greg Lloyd, Jacob Dannenfelser. I said that completely out of order of how y'all are sitting, but yeah, why don't y'all take just a second, let the folks know who you are, what you do, and yeah, the floor is yours.
All right. Well, hi, I'm the Greg Lloyd in that rundown. I am one of the founding members of Where's the Remote Productions. I'm also now the managing director and, actor, writer, producer with these guys.
I'm Justin Hall. I'm the artistic director for it. Also one of the founding members of Where's the Remote. And yeah, I'm actor, writer, producer, along with these guys.
And I'm Jacob Dannenfelser. I'm also a founding member, and I'm operations director at Where's the Remote, and I'm also a writer, producer, actor, along with these guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a trend,
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, well, look, we love consistency in a partnership. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for being on as my first guest of the year. Very excited. And folks, if you'll stick around until the end, they have a show coming up that I'm sure they would love to plug. But right off the bat, let's get into some questions. And our first question of the night comes from Casey Freeman, fellow UGA theater student. Now she's an alumnus. We will soon be. But Casey wants to know, what inspired the name Where's the Remote?
It's actually a great question that we don't have a solid answer for.
We've got an idea.
Yeah.
So let's just say we were trying to write our show, our very first show, Where's the Remote? And we were watching some Breaking Bad, sitting on what we thought was
quality,
the remote. And we're just trying to focus on writing, and then the episodes just keep playing and playing, and everybody's asking, where's the remote? So we're shuffling, trying to find it, and then we just got distracted. And we just kept watching Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Hey, well, look, there are certainly.
Never even came up with the title. We just kept thinking about Breaking Bad.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
funny.
Hey. Well, look, there are certainly worse ways to come up with the title. I'm sorry, I cut you off, Jacob.
You're good. No, you're totally fine.
Yeah. But yeah, well, that certainly is a very fitting way. Knowing y'all and knowing your personalities, that fits as to how y'all would come up with the name of your group. So y'all have managed to do something that I consistently fail at, which is create sketch comedy or create just comedy that is not only funny, but consistently funny. And one of the questions that we got is also from Casey Freeman, and she wants to know, could you explain your process when it comes to creating and producing new shows? If you could take us through your writing process, how you come up with various ideas, and because I know the show that y'all did back in, what was it, December or November, with Roll Call Theater. It was all based on child stars coming back to do a reboot, which in and of itself is a funny idea. But if you could just walk us through your process.
Well, it's pretty fun, mainly because it's still something that's forming just from being new and creating together. The first show we ever wrote came to be from a 24-hour competition. And in that process, we got our prompts, we got a funny little concept. It was about 3 kids in detention, but before detention, one of them had a parent swap with their dad. So it was the dad kids' bodies, and they had to get through detention like that. But for Where's the Remote, that was a different process. We were told, we want you guys in this slot. We want you guys to come up with a full show, which was something that we hadn't really had the experience with. So we thought, what's the thing that we want to bring to the table? If we're introducing ourselves to the Atlanta art scene, how do we want to do it? And so we wrote down all the things that we want. We want to show, fun. We want to show dynamics. We want to show that we can, tell a heart-wrenching story, but still really make them laugh the whole way through. Yeah. And we also all really love watching stuff. Came together this idea of them trying to sit down, and then we started making these fun character types and making these beats about how they would interact, what they both need and want from each other, and how they pull and push based on their past. And a whole bunch of flashcards, late nights, and Blue M&Ms later, we had our show.
That's it.
Summed up.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say enough how much I really enjoyed y'all's first show. I thought it was very funny. And my mother, who I hope is watching, she said she was going to be. She is. She's in the chat. Yeah. She is in the chat. Yeah, we both agreed. It was a very, very entertaining show. But kind of going off of your process, Ben Tankersley, he wanted to know, what is something that some people think is easy about writing stand-up or sketch comedy that is actually really difficult?
I would say that just writing comedy in general is actually very, very difficult. I wouldn't consider that to be an easy feat whatsoever. Especially just trying to just nail how people talk, just nail how someone makes a joke. It's never just like a clear-cut thing, and sometimes stuff works and stuff doesn't, and just figuring out what it is that makes that happen.
Yeah. For me, it was really hard. I've done improv and I've cracked jokes and so on, but making a full comedic play that's good enough to have a nice arc that people still want to stay in and keep with, while also keeping them laughed and engaged and not feel like it's work to get through. That was a special challenge for me.
Yeah. I'll also say that, while you're still building the arc, with sketch comedy, it's usually, you get to your game, there's 3 jokes and there's escalation. So once you get to the crazy third beat and then it all sort of wraps up, that's one, just pretty hard. And, we're all still learning too. But in the bigger show, in Where's the Remote, it's just kind of combining all those things and figuring out when you can have a quick bit with somebody, or if it's sort of just extended throughout the show. It's just kind of finding that blend and making it, not too long and not too short.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think all of y'all kind of brought up the fact that writing comedy in and of itself is hard. And one of the biggest reasons for that is because, comedy is so subjective. When writing your first show, did you have to eventually, okay, let me start over. Did you start out trying to write it for, say, a very broad general audience and then have to narrow it down? Or, because I would imagine that would be a very important process, is trying to figure out who you're writing comedy for.
Well, when we first got booked, we were the late night spot. So it's we were told, you're going to be going on at 10:30 and or 11:30 on Saturday nights. So it was all right, well, you definitely don't want a super intense drama that late at night in Ponce City Market. People are going out, people are coming into the theater to see something off of the Beltline. So, you want to keep it fun and engaging, but also something to laugh at. Maybe it's probably going to be an older crowd, not older in the sense of, well, I don't want to offend anybody, but, we're talking 20s, 30s, people, the millennial type, Gen Z's coming in. So I feel like that was kind of our target. And then, also having the reality, or the old show reunion, I feel like that's something that we can all relate to, is we were, watching Sweet Life of Zach and Cody or something like that,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's a great point that you make. So kind of going off of this and how y'all started your creative process and things like that, because I don't know about anyone else, but over the past year, I've consumed so much TV, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
2020 did a number on all of my subscription services.
Yeah.
And one of the questions that we got was, what is one of y'all's favorite TV shows that no one has ever heard of?
Who wants to go first?
So let me tell you about a little thing called Bar Rescue. And this is
I'm familiar with Bar Rescue.
You need to come see our February show, because Bar Rescue, I'm convinced, is one of the shows that's ever hit TV as a whole.
On top.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, aside from Bar Rescue, which is, the epitome of television.
The king. Yeah.
I recently started watching a show on Netflix called I'm Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Andrea Savage, who is a comedian. Basically, it's about this mom. She's a comedy writer, and it's just kind of like all the horrible predicaments that she gets herself in. Basically, every interaction she has, she kind of has to say, "I'm so sorry," and it's it's just pretty funny. Like, she gets in all kinds.
I think I've heard of this.
Yeah, it's been on TikTok a lot. That's
I think I saw it on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jake,
you got one?
Yeah. I like a little HBO show called The Leftovers, which I think is great. It's about like just randomly 2% of the population on Earth just disappears, and everyone's like, "What?" And that doesn't sound like a lot, but
2% of like 3 billion.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. But great show. I think it's probably one of the most human shows I've ever watched. It's very great. So I would recommend that.
Cool.
Yeah.
What about you, Doug? What are you watching?
Yeah, Doug.
So one show. There are 2 shows that I really love. And I need to see more from them. And in the past year, they both got canceled. So this is my plea for any Hollywood executive who I know has to be watching this show. I need you to bring back Cloak and Dagger, and I need you to bring back I'm Not Okay With This on Netflix. Both excellent writing, excellent drama, comedy. Phenomenal soundtracks on both of them.
Cool.
One has Olivia Holt and Aubrey Joseph. I think that's his last name. And then the other one, Sophia Lillis, and I can't remember his last name, or I can't remember his name, but he's Stanley from It. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I highly recommend both of them.
Cool.
Yeah, I never watched Cloak and Dagger.
I watched the pilot.
I didn't know it got canceled.
It did, but that would explain why it got canceled.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. So one thing that I just love about all y'all so much is you each have your own very distinctive brand of delivery and how you tell jokes, what kind of jokes you tell. And that leads me to this question. What is your preferred brand of comedy? Do you like the sardonic wit of, say, I wanted to say Jerry Seinfeld? I think that works. Or do you like the abrasiveness of Bill Burr? Or, what is y'all's preferred brand?
Who wants to go
That's
first?
a good question.
Yeah.
It's a tough question.
Yeah.
I'm real big on satire and long build-ups to real strong structured jokes, like comedic situations. So for real classical examples, I read a lot of George Bernard Shaw, a hilarious comedian despite being a very, very old man.
Yeah.
All my Little Women fans know. Not Pretty Woman.
I was gonna say what?
Pretty Woman and Little Women, 2 very different things.
Different things. Yeah.
I was gonna go with it regardless.
Yes.
All my Pretty Woman fans know. But I really like satirical, dry comedy that kind of consistently builds up to a wacky situation.
Yeah, I'll kind of go off of that as well. I like a satire. I think a farce is always funny. Something extra ridiculous, sort of a Neil Simon sort of vibe. Open one door, something happens, close it, something else happens, and like situational sort of like, what did this guy get himself into? How's he gonna, fix it? That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I would go.
Farcical comedy is something that is often attempted and rarely perfected, and it's when it hits right, it hits right.
Yeah.
Jacob, did you have anything else to add? I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off.
No worries. Yeah, going off what Greg said. Situational thing. I like to think of Curb Your Enthusiasm for that. I think that's situational comedy that you can get. I think that's top tier. But also just I don't. All of our media intakes are very, very different. I would say. I mean, I think we're all doing some stuff. I also like a little bit of like a darker comedy. Something that just like I think when humans are at their lowest, it can actually make for some pretty freaking funny situations. Surprisingly, like BoJack Horseman, I think that's like one of the first shows that comes to mind. It's like some dark, mature stuff, but it never manages to not be funny. Stuff like that. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, great. So, we've talked about like your process. We've talked about sort of the dynamic of the group, and kind of going off of that, looking ahead, we've got a bunch of questions of like what it looks like for Where's the Remote in the future. So one of the questions that we've got is if you were to expand the group to bring in like a bunch of different acts, a bunch of different types of performance, what sort of things would you be looking for? Like if you had to add on an additional performance to your Saturday night show, what's the first thing you're going to go to?
Something cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
The fun thing about us, we're pretty easy to please. If someone can do something cool that I can't do, I am in the front row screaming at the top of my lungs.
I'm there.
Yeah.
I would love to see somebody else that can do a musical with Greg, because singing is just not our department.
We're not do that.
But any and all, we actually, as we go on doing more shows and more productions, we want to see how creative and how intertwined and incorporated we can get these different forms. Because I think we all have such like diverse love for so many different forms.
Yeah. And what's great is we're already kind of starting to do that now with the improv. So just bringing that in has kind of opened us up to a whole like different vision about what this could be.
Yeah. And I can't say too much, but in February we're looking at including even more new elements in there to like kind of challenge us and bring in new forms of art into how we do it. So
Well, awesome. So kind of going off of this theme of looking ahead, if one day you could collaborate with any sketch group in the world, who are you going to collaborate with and why?
Shark Wing at UGA is what me and Greg are in. No, I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, if Key and Peele were still around, I would say.
Key and Peele, of course.
Every time when I think about writing a sketch in Shark Wing, would Key and Peele laugh at this? I'm like, if I can like imagine the two of them in it, I'm like, okay, I think this is something, So
and plus,
for sure,
I think we can host an episode of SNL. I'll say it. I'll be the one to say it. I think we can host SNL.
If that same producer or TV special guy is still listening, we'd like
a spot.
Yeah.
Whenever they give you the call and they ask, what are we doing next week? Please just throw us.
I got you.
Yeah.
Well, nice. So Key and Peele, SNL, great things to strive towards. And quick note about Shark Wing, y'all been doing some really cool stuff, some really funny stuff on your YouTube channel, especially. So go check out Shark Wing sketch comedy on YouTube. Jacob, I have a quick question just for you. And because one of my favorite comedy groups as a whole is a little group called The Lonely Island.
You know it.
And Jacob, I don't know if you remember this, but like 3 years ago when we were freshmen in college, we started talking about something that never came to fruition. And so, Jacob, I gotta know,
Yeah.
you still want to write a Lonely Island Jukebox musical?
Doug, I am all in to write a Lonely Island Jukebox musical. Because I've been thinking about this actually. I like. It's weird. I still follow the Lonely Island on Instagram, and like they just posted like a photo, and they just look so old now. And like they actually like it's crazy to think about that they've been around for that long. Yeah, I think there's to explore there, and I'm not even kidding. So yeah, y'all are there.
We're there.
Yeah,
We'll support in any way we can.
Buy my ticket.
Yeah. I'm totally there.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a great memory.
Because also like, go ahead.
No, you got it.
Well, I was just gonna say, well, if you're gonna do it, now's like the perfect time because they're like trying to like shift into like more serious comedy, less like I'm on a boat, more like Palm Springs.
Which is a movie. I like Palm Springs.
Great movie.
Yeah, they're all doing their own like individual thing, which is cool. But I miss them rapping about very stupid stuff. It's
of course.
Yeah, it's great.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, like we just said, the Lonely Island has changed a lot in the last 4 years, and this is a transition. It's just a weird transition.
I know.
We all are seniors. We're all about to graduate college. And one question that we got was, how do you think that your style of comedy over the last 4 years has changed?
I think I got funny.
I would like to say I got funny. Yeah.
I think that that could kind of be answered as well with like how's my acting changed, or just like performance in general. Yeah. So like we're all students at UGA, the wonderful UGA theater department, and I think just being in those classes and putting on the things that you don't usually put on and practicing different techniques and whatever has sort of just allowed me personally, and I think it goes for all of us, to just explore different avenues of how we act and how we want to perform, which I think translates, at least for me, to more confidence. You can make your own stuff and you can do it and like make your own jokes and you can be funny, so just tell yourself,
Yeah, and I think one big, extending off that, a big change is we started taking these things much more seriously over the time. Like I went from just being a fan of comedy to studying comedy, instead of just stopping at, hey, that's funny, I asked myself, why is that funny? And I look for not my first idea, but my best idea. And I guess that type of like meticulous thinking to want to craft something beautiful is something that just came with time and growing.
Yeah. I think we've all done a lot of growing over these past 4 years. I mean, that's what college is for. And I think just I look at the world in a completely different way than when I did to college. And that, oddly enough, has improved my humor along with that. So yeah, just kind of bouncing off what both you guys said.
Yeah.
And I think it really does go to show that even though college is like really stressful, especially for theater majors, like anyone in the entertainment industry, like it's just difficult, but you gain that confidence, you gain that momentum that can make you just better and better and better. Well, I think it's straight up awesome. So I've got one more question, and then I'm going to ask y'all. Okay, I have one question that doesn't have to do with anything, and then I have two questions that are going to wrap things up for us.
Okay.
All right, so one of y'all's fans reached out to me and asked their deepest burning question. It's a fan of y'all's by the name of Cox, And he wants to know favorite movie and why.
That's a tough one.
This is easily the hardest question.
It's a tough one. Yeah, let's see. I mean, I'll say Good Will Hunting is a classic. I think it makes me feel good. It's just like a fun story. I think it'd be fun to be as smart as Matt Damon in that movie. And I like to see Robin Williams.
Smart.
Yeah, wicked smart.
Wicked smart.
You like apples?
My boy's wicked smart.
Yeah. I'll go with Good Will Hunting. Why not?
Yes.
I usually go to American Psycho. I think it's incredibly strong. It's like just a tight metaphor and commentary is in it. On top of that, Christian Bale and the rest of the cast act fantastic. And yeah, the way this so yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be pretty generic and basic and say that it's The Godfather for me. I think I love that movie. The first time I saw that movie, I was like 14, 15, and it blew my mind. But I will always go back to The Godfather, and I get the same rewatchability out of like you would get from American Psycho. I'll rewatch it, and I see something new, and like I appreciate it on a whole different level. So I love The Godfather.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly.
It's a great cliche.
Yeah. As far as cliches go, that's a top tier cliche.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than like some loser who thinks that Shawshank Redemption is their favorite movie. But
the Shawshank fans, I love it.
Forget that. Forget those people. All right. Well,
what's your favorite movie, Doug?
Shawshank Redemption.
I just wanted to check.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
I got lost.
I love the Shawshank Redemption, dude.
Yeah, I have 4 copies of it on DVD. I don't know why,
in this house we have 3 copies of Shrek.
3 copies of Shrek.
So maybe Shrek.
Yeah, that's a respectable purchase. Like 3 copies of Shrek is respectable. No one should have 4 copies of a 3.5 hour long movie.
I disagree.
You can watch it faster that way.
You never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, guys, we have talked about how you write your comedy, how you started your troupe, how y'all work together, what your favorite comedy is, what your favorite movies are, what your favorite TV shows are. And I gotta know, this Saturday night and every Saturday night in January, what is happening at Pont City Market in Atlanta, Georgia?
Oh yeah. So this Saturday, January, Saturdays, 8:30 for the entire month, we're going to be running our improv show, Channel Surfing. It's going to be a nice little special. We tell you guys a strong story, play a lot of fun games in between. It's honestly a great way to just spend an hour while hitting the night on the town.
Yeah, seriously. And that's going to be at the Roll Call Theater, and they can purchase tickets in your bio on all of your social media, correct?
Yeah, on all of our social media, Instagram, Facebook, just launched with events and information on it. You can get the tickets there. We got a lot of funny people. A lot of my friends from Improv Athens at UGA, who a lot of people know, they're going to be in. They're really funny. Just won 3rd in college national improv competition. So come check them out.
Yeah. And follow us at Where's the Remote?
Yes.
Productions.
Where's the Remote?
At Where's the Remote Productions.
WTR Productions on Instagram.
That's our PR.
That's our PR. Our PR is in the back there. Yeah.
I believe your PR is a former guest of the show.
Yes. The famed Vivian Lee Bolton.
We love Vivian.
I'm a fan.
Yeah. Well, look, y'all, seriously, awesome time catching up with you tonight. Great way to start off 2021. Thank you, everyone, for your awesome questions. Thank you to my mother and Ben Tankersley, who were in the chat. as per usual. Yeah, well, guys, did y'all have a good time?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Doug, thank you for having us on
Yeah,
the show.
thank you so
This means so much.
So much.
Hey, well, thank y'all so much for coming on. And for everyone who's watching, please be sure to tune in. We're going to be doing Tea with Doug G every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Keep an eye out on Viter Media for all the cool things that we have going on. New episodes of Saying the Skeen dropping every Wednesday. And until next time, my name is Doug Gooden. That's Greg Lloyd, Justin Hall, and Jacob Dannenfelser. Everyone, please raise your mugs.
Of course.
And we will toast. And this has been The Tea.
Yes. Oh.
Y'all have a great week.
You too, Doug.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Doug. Thanks.